Hey guys, Matt, Trend of 943. Today I have levy number 3 here on the PRR Keystone. Over the past couple weeks, I've been doing some work on the layout and other things that I haven't gotten a chance to do a video here on the PRR Keystone for a while. But I'm finally having a chance to do one, so we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's take a look at everything. I'll first start off by talking about my new control station right here, and then we'll go on to some other things. So this control station was originally a bookshelf that I made into a control station. It works really well. I've got my power supplies up here. These are just power strips that I have. And then down here I have all my controls, like my MTH set, my legacy set, and a power master and power brick, and some other things like that. And then down here I got some miscellaneous stuff. Got my accessory transformer, which is my MRC controller, and then my other DCS TIU. And then up here basically just have some smoke fluid stuff and things like that. But that's all I'm going to say about this. But all I know is that it suits well, and I'm very glad to have it. So as far as what's new down here, I got the Powerhouse and Power Master a couple weeks ago, and I have to say that I'm very glad I have them. I've been wanting a Power Master, specifically a Power Master for a while. The Powerhouse I kind of wanted too, but I really wanted the Power Master so I can control the power through the Legacy handheld. And I obviously have that right now. I do plan on getting a second one so I can control my outside track with the Legacy controller. Right now I control my outside track with my MTH handheld right here. But eventually I will have two of them so I can do that. But that's really all that's new down here. Got a couple other things to show you too. Something else newly added is this MTH cable here. Now this cable goes off to my Line of Legacy controller, and they're direct connected to each other for the simple fact that I decided that if I ever have to take my Legacy controller in to get service, whatever the reason may be, right now it's perfectly fine, but if it ever has to go in for some reason, I would still want a way to run my engines in command mode so I can still run some of the features, because, and I can attest to this, running Legacy engines without Legacy or even any command control is very, very boring. I had to do it for like 7 months until I finally got this. And running them with that time without the Legacy was so boring, and I barely wanted to run them at all, but I ended up doing it. But anyways, so I have these direct connected, so that way if this ever has to go in, I can still run my Legacy engines in TMCC mode, but I can still run them. I do also have to get a Cab 1L base to connect to this if this ever has to go in, because if this leaves, I have no way of running my trains through this. I would have to buy a Cab 1L base or a TMCC, whatever base I can find, which I'll probably end up just buying the Cab 1L base just because it'll be the easiest to find. And then I can run this handheld, will control my line-out engines when this is gone. But when this is here, obviously I'm using it, so. But that's really about it. That's happening on the control station here. So now let's go and take a look at some other new stuff. Okay, so now right here is my new engine. It's my only new one over the past couple weeks, but I really like it. It's a MTH Royal King Imperial ES44C4 in the MTH RSC club colors. I ordered this one about 1.5 years ago to go with my club cars, which I just pulled this engine off the shelf to do this little clip here, so I don't got my club cars with it right now. I got them, actually some of them with this, but anyway, it's a really nice engine. I would like to get my DCS fixed because there's some signal problem with it, so this engine here and this one here don't respond at all. And I can show you too if I dial up the power. You can see the little headlight comes on and it will do the startup procedure, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll go ahead and run it for you guys in just a couple of minutes. But really good detail. I think that it's really nice. It's got the ground lights here. It does have the chasing lights. They do work. Although in conventional, I don't think they work, but I'm not sure because they do work in command mode. However, mine are very, very dim, so I may have to call MTH and see if there's a way you can turn the brightness up on them because mine are very, very dim and so dim that when I first got it, I actually had to shut the lights off to even see them. They were that dim, but it's pretty nice. I'll go ahead and run it for you guys in just a couple of minutes. Now, because of that signal problem with my MTH engines, that's the main reason why I do have the Power Master, so I can run my MTH engines off the Legacy. And I have to say, running especially this one on the Legacy is fantastic. It almost runs just like it would running off this. It really runs great. Like I said, I'll show it to you in just a minute. And the running of this one here is really good too. So let's take a look at some other stuff and some future plans that will be coming here, and then we'll go on and run some trains a little more. Okay, so the only new thing besides that ES44 is right here. It is a manual 036 switch, and it is one of the two switches I need to complete my passing siding. Now, the passing siding is going to be where this F3 is, and right at the tip of the end of the passenger train, I'll have another switch that will allow the train to come through here or come through here, whatever way I want to. Now, I got these manual switches here only because I've heard complaints that the housings in there burn up and they malfunction a lot. And the other reason was cost. The command control or the remote switches, my local hobby shop has them listing for $93, I think it is, per switch. That is way too much money. I am in no way going to spend $100 on a switch. And then those command control switches, I've seen them as high as $150 per switch. And there is no way I'm going to be spending that much money on two switches. Now, of course, my original plan was to make a reversing loop and all different kinds of stuff. I was going to have two passing sidings, a reversing loop, all this other stuff with all those switches. And I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to spend that much money on switches. So I'm deciding just going to do just the one passing siding, which is what I'm working on now. And I'm going to use these two manual switches. These are about 50 a piece. Like I said, I only got the one. Eventually I'll have two, but for right now that works. And plus, I just like the look of, especially the throw arm here, with the little pin and the little stand here. I just like the look of it. It just looks really good, and the switch is really nice. So, glad to have this. Really looks good. One more thing that's happened is with this, what was a Atlanta Legacy Pennsylvania GP35. It has been since converted to a non-powered locomotive. Upsetting to see, but I think in the end it's almost sadly going to be worth it because I was having a lot of board problems with this. It was not responding to the Legacy at all, or if it was, you had to let it sit in conventional for like 20 minutes, and it was a royal pain, and I just wasn't going to keep going through that. And the amount of money I have to spend on boards for this thing would probably be the amount of money I paid for it, and I was not going to about to do that. So, and plus it took a nasty fall to the floor a couple months ago. It knocked out the one number board and a whole bunch of cosmetic damage, whole bunch of dings and dents and scrapes. The little sunshades are knocked off. Up in here, there's a whole bunch of, well, actually inside the shell, there's a whole bunch of scrapes here. You can see it really well there. Whole bunch of damage, and it was a very nasty fall to the floor. So, and that was about the end of this engine once it hit the floor. So sad to see, but it does still move, so I can, you know, run it with this or whatever I want. So also the smoke unit was really bad. Here's the element. It totally burnt up. You can see it's in two pieces and it's charred up really, really bad. And here's the other piece to it with the batting and stuff in there. So, but you know, but it's moved on. It's over and done with. It was nice. And then that's really that. So just got one more little thing to show you, and then we'll go ahead and run some trains. So one more quick little thing would be the progress on this elevated track. I've been talking about this for a little while. I actually at one point did have it working, and then I decided to make it non-operational because I was just really worried about trains falling. I did have a couple of derailments up on the top with trains falling, and I just didn't want to keep going through that, so I have made it non-operational. It's still in the planning stages. I do want to get some more trestle piers. I do definitely got to work on that. And this section here, all the way through about where that Southern Pacific SD70 ACE is, non-powered, is going to be the problem spot right here. Like, all this here is easy, but up to here is where the problem begins, because I need to figure out a way to have this fit without having anything collide or get damaged by the trestle piers, or have anything underneath scrape anything, like these aluminum passenger cars. These swing out a lot. They swing out about 2 inches, and I really don't want them to get damaged or the trestle to get damaged, because if there's a train on here and it falls to the floor, that would be a very, very, very nasty fall to the floor. It'd probably be even worse than with this. I mean, I definitely don't want to have a repeat of that, so. But I'm thinking of bringing it out like here, and then bringing it like where that anniversary car is, sliding it back in. I don't know, but I'll have to work on that and see what I want, but we'll have to see. So, but that's what's in the planning stages right now. So, but that's really it. So, now without any further ado, let's go ahead and run some trains. I'll start off by running the ES44C4 with a MTH Rail King non-powered Southern Pacific. It originally was a powered, but I was having board problems with it, so I made it a non-powered. And then I have 3 of my 5 club cars. The other 2 are in the back there. I just didn't put them on for this little run here, so I'm just running the 3, and then we'll run this a little while later, and then we'll run my F3 a little while too. So my Burlington F3. So let's run some trains. Okay, so we're going to start off by running the ES44C4 that I showed you guys just a couple of minutes ago. I do have a full run of this engine here on the PRR Keystone. Yes, it is rare that I do a full run here on the PRR Keystone because I have very limited areas that I can do run-bys on, but yes, I did do a full video on this one here. I will do a full review on this engine though at the KTMR. But anyway, that video, the run, will be uploaded after this one. So let's turn this engine on and run it. Just to show you about that, I'm gonna run this F3 off the DCS.
Dispatcher here. You are clear of hole. Over. Thanks, dispatcher. Cleared outbound. Out. Dispatcher, we are on the move. Over. Copy that. Out. Dispatcher, how that track look? Are we clear? Over. That's affirmative. Your track is clear. Over. Okay. Green light ahead. Out. Dispatcher here. Your line has been clear inbound. Over. Green signals. Thank dispatcher. Out. Dispatcher, the main line all clear. Dispatcher here. All clear inbound. Over. Green dispatcher. Clear to the station. Out. Dispatcher, dispatcher to lock. Over. Roger that. Out. Dispatcher, how that track look? Are we clear? Over. That's affirmative. Your track is clear. Over. Copy that. Out. Dispatcher here. All clear inbound. Over. Green signals. Thank dispatcher. Out. I'm in the clear. Waiting on instructions. Over. Sit tight. Out. Going to sign a register book. Out.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Another video will be coming soon when I get my legacy engines back. I got my GP7, my SD70 ACE, and my non-powered unit to go with the F3. They're all out. The SD70 is at Lionel, and my other two are at my local train store. I got a lot of issues with that GP7, so when that one comes back, I hope that it works. And the non-powered unit just had the smoke unit, and the SD70 had the sound problem. But when those come back, I'll do videos on them. So we'll get that done when they come back. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys. You guys have a great one. Catch you later.